The last week and a bit I've been doing some reading as well as other research. The main book that I've been looking at is this one, The First 6 Weeks. This one has quite a lot of information. Some of it's repeated, I think just for emphasis. You can't overfeed a newborn, but you can underfeed them. You can't spoil a newborn by giving them too much love. That seems pretty consistent with what I already thought. I have, however, learnt a bunch of things that I had really no idea about. For example, newborns are apparently very loud. And I don't just mean when they're crying, but apparently when they're sleeping they make all kinds of gurgling noises and sound like they're choking. Apparently it's just normal, not really cause for concern. Apparently a lot of new parents think that their babies are in some kind of trouble because of the amount of noise they make. I also heard that newborns are hairy on their ears and their back. I asked somebody at work about this who's got children, and he says it's kind of like a fuzz. It doesn't mean that they're half orangutan. It's just normal for human babies. Another big one is just the amount of effort that's involved in breastfeeding. My instinct was to assume, I think, what a lot of people do, which is that you just get the baby, put it on the breast, it feeds. That takes not that long. Clip the bra back up and away you go. But it actually takes more like hours at a time and is a huge proportion of what the newborn is doing. Its job is pretty much just to grow. It needs to spend a lot of time eating. So for the mother, that means basically spending hours at a time holding a baby in their arms. So even just holding the baby for that long is going to be very tiring, and it consumes a lot of time. So I hadn't really considered the extent of the effort involved in that challenge. One that I'm really glad that I heard about, and I'm not sure if it was from this book or from some other source, is for female newborns, the mother has a hormonal influence on them. Because the blood supply of the baby is closely connected to that of the mother, they're getting all of the hormones that can pass across the placenta. And so they actually, during the first couple of weeks, can get a little bit of vaginal bleeding. That would be really scary for a new parent who doesn't know that it's supposed to do that. It's just a normal thing due to the influence of the mother's hormones, and it's not harmful at all. I'm sure there are going to be plenty of other surprising things that I learn, but that's not the whole point of this book, just to teach odd things. The other big thing that this book does is introduce a routine for the early weeks. The idea of the routine is to try to get both of the parents to have some uninterrupted blocks of sleep, more than a few hours, and to get the baby into the habit of going to sleep at night instead of during the day. For the whole pregnancy, while the mother's moving around during the day, it rocks the baby to sleep, and so the baby will tend to sleep during the day and then be active at night. When the baby's born, their circadian cycle is set up so that they're asleep during the day and awake at night, which is the opposite of what the parents are trying to do. The idea of the routine introduced in the book is to have the mother do a feed, the final feed for the day, at about 9 o'clock or 9:30. Their partner can take over the baby, the mother can just go to sleep. Then the partner can bathe the baby, and this is at about 10 o'clock the baby's getting a bath, and then give them a feed from a bottle, which could be formula or expressed milk, and then put the baby to sleep. It's a lot later than people would naturally think you'd want to put a newborn to sleep, but the idea is you don't want to put them to bed too early and have them wake up again at 9 o'clock or something like that, and then have trouble getting to sleep again. So they probably going to sleep for one good stretch per day and then only have short sleeps the other times, and so you want to save that stretch until the parents are actually ready to go to sleep. So the partner does the feed after the bath at 10 o'clock, and so the baby's getting put to bed at about 11 o'clock. The bath has helped to relax them and get them ready for sleep. According to the book at least, they'll stay asleep until their next feed sometime in the early hours of the morning, and then as they get older over the coming weeks, that time that they need that next feed stretches out a bit. As they get bigger, they can wait a bit longer before their next feed. So that way the mother's getting sleep from about 9:30 until maybe 2 or 3 in the morning, maybe 4 or 5 hours, which is much better than having interrupted sleep every couple of hours. The partner, after they've put the baby to bed, they can go to sleep, and theoretically at least, they can stay asleep until the morning and have their uninterrupted stretch of sleep. We're probably going to try this. We'll let you know how it goes, starting from December, probably. I'm hopeful, but all babies are different, so we'll have to see how we go. Once I finish with this book, I've got a big stack of others to go on to. This one's about the first 6 weeks. I've got this one, which is about the whole first year. And then there are a few others that just look at different parenting styles. Gentle birth, gentle mothering, positive parenting in action, and the Danish way of parenting. So I aim to read these books, talk about what I've learnt from them, and then later on, as I'm applying what's in there, I'll try to refer back to the books and comment on what's worked for me, what hasn't, what I found to be true or useful. So feel free to follow along. This is William. He's a cutie. If you like this video, click the like button. To join the conversation, use the comment box below. If your friends will like this video too, click the share button. To share my journey into parenthood, click the subscribe button to join my channel. I want to have 100 current and future parents following my channel by the time our baby is due in December. Subscribe to my channel! Do it!
Grr. Arg.
So, helicopter.
Hey, look at me, I'm so fancy.